What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Jammin with Jay Money from SportsbookReview.com. Man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Obviously, we're gonna recap the NBA games from this weekend real quick. You know what I'm saying? Go through them real quick, and then we're gonna try to get to some New Year, new money today, man. That's what we all about, trying to cash these tickets, man. So let's get to it. How was your weekend, Jordan? How was everything this weekend for you?
Not bad, not bad, but not really good either. Happy New Year to everybody out there, by the way. I yesterday was just kind of a weird day. I had the Suns first half game and then ended up covering the full game, losing the first half, and a couple of prop plays that I split yesterday. So just overall even, and not a great New Year's Eve, but pretty good. Definitely won some money on the Pacers on New Year's Eve. That was definitely the highlight of the last 2 days for me. But this slate here is a little tricky tonight. I'm interested to see what you guys have to think on that. But what about you, Junior? How was your last few days in your new year?
Happy New Year to everybody. Yesterday, I actually just went really hard on the Lakers in the first half. That was my only play of the day, so I put my usual amount just on that one game. The day before, I went 2-1. Me and Jay were on Charlotte. They got smacked up, but I had the Clippers first half and full game that day as well. So the last couple of days I've cashed in. Kept it really light. I had a bad week last week, so I'm just trying to not force any plays. Just go a little bit harder on the plays that I really like. That Charlotte loss is a bad one, but I didn't really put too much on it because it's still Charlotte at the end of the day, so I ain't gonna go hard on Charlotte no matter who they're playing in any situation. But just cashing with the Clippers and the Lakers the last couple of days. Looking to cash in with the Clippers again today. I think that they got a nice little opportunity to win some games with this, the way their schedule looks. So let's get it. What's up with you, Jay?
Shit, everything cool with me, man. Everything cool. I ain't gonna. I mean, and I'm talking about the weekend. Shit, it feel like it's Monday or something. We coming off a Sunday or something. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Yesterday was Sunday. I'm like, yeah, it's the middle of the week, man. I'm fucking tripped out, man. Y'all got to excuse sometimes. Hey, I'll be gassed up, man. Hey, the picks and the content gonna stay there though. NBA, I could do that shit in my sleep, man. People know, hey, I could have 3, 4 drinks in me. I still talk some NBA on your ass, tell you some stats from last week. But no, for real, man. On Tuesday, it was a damn good day. When it smacked them up. I mean, if you guys watched the show, anybody that's watched the show, y'all know what happened on Tuesday. We maxed out the Pacers. We maxed out. I mean, people tell me, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we couldn't tell what picture on. I think when we're talking the show, I make it very clear what I like. If I say I like it, 9 times out of 10, I'm betting the shit. If I say I'm going to put 3 bands on this shit, I mean, come on now. That was an
But
easy
you
win there by
usually
the Pacers
recap the
dinner.
official plays at the end of the show lately anyway, so it's all
Yeah,
good, bro.
I wouldn't worry. It was just one person. I just had to say because that day I know for a fact I definitely told you guys, hey, smack the pacer. I mean, especially when we got the injury news on the show. And watch some shit gonna fuck around come out today too. Every time we do the show, some shit come out. But yeah, not to, you know what I'm saying. It was the past, man. But the Pacers going to get their easy win on Tuesday. Smacked Philadelphia up without Embiid. Was all over this shit. Took a small loss there with the Hornets. I did ride with my guy here, but I thought it was a good play. I mean, the Hornets are just in total free fall right now. And the Boston, even without Jaylen Brown, it wouldn't have handled a business. That under did hit though. I should have took the under instead of the Hornets. Hornets didn't cash. The Clippers they smacked the Kings up. Kings another team in the total free fall. I was on the under in the Cavs versus Raptors on Tuesday. That one ended up cashing. The Cavs got blown out the water. We was all over the Rockets. Easy cash. I mean, they did outscore the Nuggets there 38-15. I can't say in the third quarter it wasn't so looking so easy, but in the fourth quarter, final score, I don't think that matter. I told you guys, Rockets was the play in that one. We cashed it. The Spurs they didn't cover. They had to go to overtime with the Warriors. That they a depleted Warriors team. That's pretty good. I mean, the Spurs just I don't know what's up with them, man. The Mavs last minute. If you had the Mavs, I feel sorry for you that day. Last minute, I'm talking about the game started at 7:05 at 7 o'clock. Kristaps Porzingis was ruled out with knee sores. I mean, I think that's total bullshit. You got to announce the lineups 30 minutes before the game. That's a new thing. That's a new rule in the NBA now. I don't know what happened with that, but the Mavs actually were coming out playing good. Catch the first quarter, I think catch the first half, and they end up losing the game in straight up fashion. So Be interesting to see bounce back. Yesterday, I know I stayed. I'm glad I stayed off some shit yesterday. I know I was close to taking the Bucks there. I don't know how in the hell they let the Timberwolves. I mean, the Timberwolves been playing over their head. Obviously, I mean they had no Teague, no Wiggins, no Town, no what Vonleh said out. I mean they had a bunch of players out yesterday and still kept it close versus the Bucks. We know the Bucks probably just looked over them there. Just looked over them. The Knicks, the when it smacked the Blazers. I saw a lot of people on the Blazers yesterday. People trying to get me on them. I ended up just staying off the whole car. I didn't like the field. A lot of teams probably coming in still drunk or whatever. And hey, did the Blazers go out and party like a motherfucking rock star? Only 93 versus the Knicks, and you let the Knicks get 117 for you? The Knicks bust you by 24. Hey, I ain't gonna say too much, man. The Magic smash. Hope Isaac all right. You know what I'm saying? He got a hyperextended knee, got stretched off the floor. Be interesting to see how the Magic look. Didn't have a problem with the Wizards yesterday, even though Bill was back. A lot of people hopping on the Wizards that night, and that didn't work. And if you had the Lakers, I'm praying for you. I was watching the game. I'm talking about actually absolutely smacked them. I had 74 at the half, up by 30 easily. It went in the first quarter versus the Suns. I turned it back to it in the third quarter, third quarter. Them boys down by like 12, 14. I'm like, hold on, what the hell? I said they finna come back and backdoor cover this game, even though it was down 12 at the last second. And then a little alley oop right there. That shit's crazy, man. If you had the Lakers, I am praying for you. I'm glad I went out, because that's the type of shit that has me heated. It makes me hate sports betting, but it happens, man. It happens. But see, I be having real cheddar on the line. That type of shit. Hey, I mean, what you had? Did you see that, Junior?
Yeah, I was. It's funny that you say that, and that's another one of those situations. This has happened to me more than once. I'm trying to remember the game a couple of days ago where I had the first half. I think it was a game where the Hawks came back, where they were getting smacked in the first half, and they came back and won the second half. I can't remember what game that was, but I was pissed that I only went hard on the Lakers first half yesterday, because they were up by 30. I mean, I wasn't watching the game, and the next thing I know, people's feelings are getting hurt, bro. So sometimes you just gotta go with your gut, and I just something about that full game spread that I didn't like, so I just stayed off it.
Exactly. Anything you had to say about what happened yesterday, Jordan, before we get into today's slate? Anything that stuck out to you yesterday?
Yeah, man. I mean, I wish I would have had a show yesterday, because if Junior would have been on the Lakers first half, I would have laid off the Suns first half. That's for sure. That stuck out to me. I agree with you. I will also say this. I hope John Isaac is okay. Hopefully that hyperextension is nothing like torn in there, because he's a damn good player. And I think I said on just the last show that he's one of my favorite players in the league. So hope he's all right. The Minnesota game, I think, was really funny for those people who were laying 19 points with the Bucks. I mean, just like, that's just straight disrespect. You knew Minnesota was going to come out with every bit of what they had yesterday. And the Bucks kind of took them lightly, and that was kind of noticeable at times. So I would have, if we would have had a show yesterday, I would have been warning everybody who was jumping on the Bucks. I thought that was probably a trap line for sure. That stuck out to me a little bit as well. But Portland losing in New York doesn't really surprise me either. I thought that was kind of, that them being road favorites this year, you're just asking for disaster. That was one of the ones I think that I missed out on, and I should have bet the Knicks, because I was thinking about it earlier in the morning. But yeah, I one of those days where you're a little hungover, you're just not quite yourself, and you're not ready to take advantage of that value like you are in a day like today, where you're a little more clear-eyed and ready to go here on the 2nd of January, I guess. So I'm ready to get at this slate if you guys are.
Yeah, hey, I'm ready to get to this shit, man. I ain't gonna say too much about this first game. We get into it. We got the Hornets here versus the Cavs. It's not really a large slate, so you know what I'm saying. We'll say something about all of them. If we got something stronger, then we'll elaborate on it. If not, we still gonna try to go through all of them. No, we got the Hornets versus the Cavs. Line opened up at the total opened up at 210, bet up to 213 now. So some people are liking the over. Cavs, they opened at 2.5 down to 1.5 now. I know it's at -2 last night. They Cavs 4-1 ATS last 5 games. They won 198 December 28th, December 18th versus this Hornets team. I mean, if you remember that game, the Cavs got up by 20 points in that game and were coasting for 3 quarters, and then the Hornets came all the way back in the 4th quarter and made it 2. Trust me, I know I had the Cavs that day, man, 2.5, and they won by 2. I was kind of, I mean, I had some cash that day, but still, man, that was the last one on the parlay. That was crazy there. They won their last 3 home games, man. The Hornets, they just look. I mean, they lost 6 straight games on 5 ATS last 5. I mean, are they even trying? Obviously, this is a revenge spot, but shit, do they even care? They in a just total free fall right now. I can't say the Hornets been playing. They got the slowest pace in the league the last 5 games, 30th in pace, man. I'm not understanding why this game, why the total is going up. To be honest with you, not something that I played, but I know last night when I was looking at it, if I had to play it, I was looking towards the under. And crazy to say, I was actually looking towards the Cavs, but it'll be interesting to see if the Hornets gonna come to play here. Any quick thoughts on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, it's just one of those games. We're now into the dog days of January. You're talking about trying to bet on one of these two teams who likely has more to gain from losing than they do from winning. That being said, Charlotte's only 3 games out of the 8th spot in the playoffs. So, I mean, even though they've looked good free-for-all, they could easily turn things around and make a push for that. Same with the Cavs, only 4.5 games out. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those games. It's really hard to judge what the motivation factor is going to be for both these two teams who likely don't have a ton to play for this year, but could also still make a run to the playoffs. So it's just kind of like one of those things I'm staying off of. It's just a situation that I'm not excited about on either team, even though you're right, the Cavs are the hotter team. But I think also the total going upward is not that surprising to me, because I think that this game, there's going to be zero defense between both these two teams. I think that's evident. But going up 3 points like that, I don't know if I'm going to touch it now, considering some of the struggles that Charlotte's had on the road, obviously offensively. So one of those games I'm staying away from. Could definitely lean towards the Cavs, but not like,
Exactly. And their last game was 100-98. She was 100-98 in the last game. So, I mean, I know they don't play it, but like I say, the Hornets, they play. I mean, sometimes they do play some. I can't give the Hornets that. Sometimes, I mean, certain games, I wouldn't be surprised here if the Hornets ended their streak, but I'm not willing to bet on it, man. Neither one of them really. I wouldn't feel confident in either one of these sides, man. When I put my money down, I like to feel confident on this shit to the point where I could be pissed off, like, man, that shit should have hit. You know what I'm saying? Not, I got lucky type shit. What you thinking real quick on this one, Junior?
Not thinking anything. This game is trash. That's all I gotta say about this game. Like, it's funny. Me and my friends, it's bowl season right now, right? So, if I ask one of my homies, we always been cracking this joke since we were young. They'll say, "Yo, this game is sponsored by Glad because it's a fucking garbage bowl." So in honor of bowl season, this particular NBA game is definitely a Gladlock garbage bowl between the Hornets and the Cavs, which I will not be betting on.
Exactly. Yeah, and me neither. Me neither. I didn't even really give it a deep look, man, to be honest with you. But let's get to this next game, man. We got the Nuggets versus the Pacers here. I know. Brogdon was announced out yesterday, so I mean, we've been knowing this. Odds makers know it. Everything. It's, what I'm saying. Brogdon and Sumner out, if I'm not mistaken, for the Sumner as well for the Pacers. The Nuggets here going to be. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see if Gary Harris is going to play here in this spot. Obviously, he didn't play the last game. I can't say they did scare me a little bit. I was all over the Rockets in this spot, and I needed them pretty big. But the Nuggets, in that third quarter, I know in the fourth quarter they got outscored 38-15, but that third quarter, them boys, they were like, hold on, no, we come to play here in Houston, and that fourth quarter just absolutely fell apart. They only 8-6 on the road, 5-7 ATS. The Pacers 15-3 at the house. I can't tell you, I'm not looking to take the Pacers without Brogdon. No, I'm just not. You see that game versus the Pelicans? I know it was away, but I mean, them just 2 games there without Brogdon, and now you just had a big win, huge win, and then now, so you got a team that's coming off a huge win. Then you got a team that's coming off a terrible loss. Obviously, the Nuggets don't play well on the road, and I understand that. I understand why. I don't think the Pacers should be. I know they're good at the house. They shouldn't be favored here. I don't think by -1.5. I guess they thinking maybe if Harris out, if Harris in, you're gonna see this line flip to Denver. I'm telling you, man. Only way I could look in this game is the Denver Nuggets. I know they don't play the same on the road. They still 8-2, 8-2 straight up in the last 10 games, just coming off a terrible loss on the road. This is still a complete team, in my opinion, man. Very deep team. We see how the Pacers look without Brogdon. Look totally different offense. Yeah, Aaron Holiday nice, but he's no Brogdon. Especially defensively, he's no Brogdon. The Nuggets, in my opinion, got the better defense in this game. It'll be interesting to see. Any thoughts on this game, Junior?
This is a tough one because I look at this as a 50-50 game. It's funny. You would think that the Nuggets are not the same on the road as they are at home, but their stats are almost identical, both home and on the road. And honestly, they're just a better team, especially if you're saying Malcolm Brogdon's not out. So I just think if you can take points with a better team, that's probably the way you should go in a 50-50 situation. So just not to be long-winded, I just think in this spot without Brogdon, Denver's the better team even with Brogdon in. So without Brogdon, they're obviously the better team. And like I just said, on the road, they've been okay. They're above 500 on the road as a team, which you would expect because they're a playoff team. But last year, they were actually below 500 on the road. So they've improved a bit in that category. And like I said, if you just look at their offense and their defense, it's basically the same on the road as it is at home. The splits are very, very similar. So if I can take points with the better team, that's the way that I would lean if I had a free play in this game.
Exactly. I know you over there. I know you like Indy. I know that's your team in this game. Jordan, did you have a look in this game towards the Pacers, or would you say you would stay off the Pacers in this spot?
I am staying off the Pacers, but I understand those of you who are, just simply because I agree with you. The Brogdon injury, I think if he was in, this line would easily be 3 points in favor of the Pacers, and maybe even more. But the one thing I would caution taking points with Denver here is this game is a true coin flip. It could come down to a last-second shot. These two teams are pretty evenly matched considering. But I'm going to agree with something Jay said. If Gary Harris is in, I do think that would flip some probably too bad down to a pick 'em at least, just simply because I think he's one of their better. And on top of that, Indianapolis, so he wants to play in this game. So I think that's something. If he is truly healthy, I think he plays tonight. But the Pacers don't lose a ton, I think, without Brogdon, just because I think McConnell and Holiday are pretty competent. Especially McConnell, he really runs the offense well when he comes in the game. So I just think it's too much of a 50-50 game for me to pick one side on two. So I'm not betting on the Pacers, but I wouldn't fade them either. It's one of those things that I think it's just probably best to lay off of the game when it's a true 50-50 like this.
Exactly. Like I say, I don't like the fact that the Nuggets on the road, but it's no real look ahead spot or anything for them. Honestly, I mean, I had to say, without Brogdon, I don't think that this is a 50-50. I honestly don't. I think that the Nuggets definitely have an edge. I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb and say even if Harris sits, I still think that I think the Pacers need Brogdon in this type of spot. You see teams have a letdown all the time. You have a classic example here where a team off a big win, another team off of a terrible loss, 4-quarter loss. They played terrible. What did the coach say? Malone said our defense has slowly been disappearing. Is what he said. So I think that the Nuggets, if anything, should come to play here. I mean, I don't like the way they play on the road. I'm not huge on it, but I can't say if Harris is ruled in, I'm still getting it somewhere around to pick them. I'm putting something small in the Nuggets. I think when I saw Brogdon, I say, man, look, I'm gonna have to look towards the Nuggets and then watch that game versus Rockets. I think it sets up well for the road team here. Let's get to the next game. We got the Raptors versus the Heat here. When I was kind of licking my chops at, I'm not going to lie to you, when I first saw it, the Heat already won. They won 121-110 in overtime in Toronto. Obviously, the Raptors still had Siakam, Gasol, and Powell at that point. Siakam had 15 points, 12 rebounds in that game. Gasol had 14 points. Powell had 23 points and 8 rebounds off the bench in that game. Obviously, was a huge player. You got another example here. The Raptors coming off and I like the way that the Raptors been playing, beating up on these smaller teams, because when they play somebody good, you still going to get value with the I'm still getting value with the Heat here. I think this line is too short, man. They off that 20-point win to the Cavs. It's the Cavs. They're supposed to do that. Raps 3 straight unders. They're only 8-7 ATS on the road. The Heat, they coming off terrible loss, man, to the Wizards. Absolutely no show. Huge bounce back game for them at the house. They 15-1 at the house. I definitely think that the Heat win this game. I don't think it's going to be decided by less than 6 or 7 points, man. I really do think the Heat going to come to play here. I think it's going to be a defensive game as well. I think they're going to hold the Raptors under 100 for sure. I definitely like the Raptors team total under. I don't think this is definitely a game where they're going to miss their stars, miss their scoring. Team like player like Siakam, just Lowry and Van Fleet. I don't think it's going to be enough tonight, man. I like the Heat at the house. I love that they got their ass bust by the Wizards like that as huge favorites at that with everybody in. As long as it ain't no fishy shit here where the Heat try to sit somebody out to even shit up. the Raptors are totally outmatched here, and the 5.5 is too damn short, man. I'm telling you, the Raptors are getting a little bit too much love in this particular spot, man. Yeah, they've been playing well without their stars, not against the great teams though. And if he could do it already in Toronto, where they play a whole lot better, now they come back to the house. The spot said so well, man. I like to hear minus the 5.5. What's up, Junior? Come on, man. What you doing? I know. Well, this kind of tough for you, Junior, because it's your team kind of sort of against team. What you doing, man? Come on, ride with me with the Heat. It's like the Rockets game, Junior. Ride with me on
this is an official play. I got the Heat -3 in the first half. This Heat's still been the best first half team, especially offensively in the NBA. One thing about the Heat, though, that we got to pay attention to, or at least I do, because I tend to put a lot of money on the Heat so far this season, is that their defense has really fallen off in the last couple of weeks. Right now, they're 13th overall in defensive efficiency. They've been top 10 the whole season, and it's because in the last 2-3 weeks they've been in the bottom 10. So they got to definitely pick that back up. But as far as if we're talking at home in the first half, their offense is absolutely cooking. They always come out strong in the first half at home. And I think the Heat are a team that play up to their competition and down to their competition. When they play the weak teams, you see, me and Jay have talked about this a lot on the show, where they always let these weaker teams hang around. They got their ass busted in the last game by a team that's way inferior to them. So I just think that they're going to come out against this wounded Raptors team in the first half and give their best effort. And I think that 3 points is just way too short of a line. I think it's a great price. You ain't going to see -3 on the Heat too often this season in the first half. So when I saw the line, I was all over it. I'm probably going to get involved in the full game too if it's going to stay at -5.5. I thought it was going to go the other way, but it's coming down. Keep betting on the Raptors, please, and give me a better price on the Heat. I love it.
Exactly. I just think they outmatched here. It's just that simple. And I'm glad that they look so good versus the Cavs. I'm glad they did. They're 2-5 ATS last 7 in Miami. The Heat, 5th best offensive rate in last 5 games, 3rd best rebound percentage. We know that the Raptors, you know what I'm saying, don't really have all their length out there. And the Raptors 27th in pace last 5 as well. So no reason why I was liking the under. I just think it's going to be a tight defense type game. The Raptors, they still have the revenge here. They still going to come to play here. I think it's going to be an under type game. And I like the Heat here, man. I think it's too short. I think Raptors getting a little tad bit too much love here, and I like the Heat Mavs money line parlay as well. What you like in this game, Jordan?
I think I had the same reaction as Junior when I looked at the first half line of this one. I said that seems almost too good to be true. But then when I continued to look at it, it just, the spot sets up so perfect because of the kind of the bounce back narrative that you touched on, Jay, and then the fact that they've been so good at home. The defense does worry me a little bit. They're still 13th in first half defensive efficiency, going up about 105 points per 100 possessions. And with the Raptors team, like we talk about this Miami team, like when I've been burned by them this season personally, when I've been on them, it's when they play down to their competition. So my biggest question of this game is, are they going to look at the Raptors team and say, okay, you're still playing really well without your star player and a couple of key role players. Do we play down? Do we play down to what we think you are? Do we actually come out here and bust your ass like we know we can without Siakam on the court? And I hope it's the latter, because I think I'm going to tail Junior here and go with that first half -3. It's just like he said, it's just too good of a price. You look at that number and you think of how good the Heat have been, averaging over 121 points per 100 possessions in the first half against this Raptors team that still plays really good defense, but also could completely come out and lay an egg against a team that's motivated to come after getting embarrassed. So yeah, spot sets up really well, I think, for the first half here. I'm a little weary of the full game, but definitely lean more towards the first half. And I think I'm going to jump on that here because my guy Junior likes it so much.
Exactly. Yep. Hey, I can't say I'm not on the first half, but I do like it, man. I like it trifecta. And I feel like my feel on this one is exactly like the Rice game. And my guy in the chat he said, I heard that before. And that's why I tell him again, I told you again, ride with me on the you see what happened in Rockets? It was the Rockets and the Pacers both had trifectas, man. That shit was nice, man. I'm talking about, I fucking slammed this shit. That was good. That was nice there. I hope to have another day like that today, man. I can't say the strongest pick today for me is the Heat, man. That's my strongest pick of the day, So that's what I'm liking the most. Hope to keep it going, man. I hope we keep it going. I think the spot sets up well. It'd be crazy, man, to see the Heat win. They gonna win. It'd be crazy to see if it's like some 3 or 4 point type shit. I just don't think so. They're not losing this fucking game, though. I can't off that loss to the Wiz. What, man? Look. Bounce back. I know them boys probably couldn't sleep at night, boy, after getting their ass smacked. Without Bill, Man, you gotta be embarrassed. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. I hope their wives smacked them up. Nah, you can't get none tonight. You ain't get none. You just lost to the Wiz without Bill. You ain't getting nothing. Nah, I'm fucking around. Let's get to the next game, man. We got the Jazz versus the Bulls here. Total at 210.5. We got the Jazz laying at 3.5. I can tell you for me, real easy, it's Jazz or nothing. I hadn't got there, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I mean, shit, a lot of people like it too. I don't like that the line hadn't moved whatsoever. I mean, obviously the Bulls are at the house, and don't get it twisted. The Bulls can play, you know what I'm saying? They're not a pushover, especially at the house. They play really good defense. I like the under here, man, because the Jazz, they've been playing really good defense. I know ever since they got Clarkson, the offense, their second team offense has been a lot better, but they still been playing at a slow pace, playing like a pack line defense, like Virginia last year or something. Chicago's still top five in the league last 5 games in defense. I'll be looking towards under here, and I can't say I'm not looking towards the Bulls here. Only thing, if I was taking a side, I can only look towards the Jazz. I don't care who's on it. The public wins sometimes too. Sometimes you just, you know what I'm saying? The Jazz are in the groove right now. They in the real groove, and you don't step in front of that type of shit. I know they on the road, but they didn't show they could. They went into the Clippers when smacked them boys up in their house. The Jazz are feeling it right now, and I'm not fading them. I learned my list. I don't fade shit like that. I'm riding or I'm staying off of it, but I do like the under here. If the Bulls can do anything here, they gotta, you know what I'm saying, come to play some defense. They've shown that they can D up. I think 210.5 is a little too many points, man. Just gonna read also stuff real quick. The Jazz 10th best defense last 5, second slowest pace last 5 games. The under is 6-1 last 7 meetings, and Chicago under 3 last 14 meetings. And the Bulls got the 6th best defensive rating last 5 games. So they 4-0 ATS last 4 after a loss, 8-0 ATS last 8 after a straight up loss. So, but the Jazz, like I said, won 8 of last 9 games, man. 3rd best offensive rating last 5 games. Look at that. That's pretty damn crazy there, but they still been cashing them unders as well. Hadn't played it just. The only way I could look though is Jazz and under. What you thinking in this spot, Jordan?
I'll be quick. I really don't have a play on this game, but I agree with you. If there is a spot on it, it's absolutely the Jazz here, just simply because of how well they've been playing here without Mike Conley and putting Joe Ingles in the starting lineup and letting him and Mitchell initiate offense. So I know the Bulls are good on defense. The first half total of that reflects this, like 102 points in the first half total. So it's just really sharp lines here. I will agree with Jay. I think if there is a total side, it's probably the under, but I'm staying off. I think it's just a spot where Chicago could come out and really have some matchup problems for the Jazz, or the Jazz could absolutely smoke Chicago. It's just not one. It's kind of one of those other ones where, kind of like Denver and Indiana, it's just one of those 50-50 games that I think the spread's pretty sharp, and I think I'm laying off of. But the Jazz could come out and have another very good game, just because they've been red hot. I think whether they win 6 of the last 7 or something like that straight up. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see them win this game by double figures. I'm just not going to be betting on it, I don't think.
Exactly. What you got, Junior, on this game?
The only look I could really have is the under, especially in the first half. That number seems really low. Let me just double check it again. 102.5. That's such a small number.
You ain't got to force nothing.
I don't know. I just don't have a look on this game. If you look at the Chicago Bulls' last 5 home games, they have the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA. So I just have to take that into account, and that defensive rating that they have, it's a pretty impressive number. They're holding teams to 97.6 points per 100 possessions at home. That's a really crazy number, and it's not like the Utah Jazz are a high-powered offense. So I actually switched. I'm just going to switch something I said. I don't like that first half number. 102.5 seems like a really small number. I'd actually take the full game under at 210.5. No, 210.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's a couple of 210.5s, but it's mostly 209.5, 210.
Exactly. So it sounds like we can only take the under in this. I know the way I'm looking at it, only looking towards Jazz and under. Both these two teams can play some defense, man. We know that the Bulls, they can slow it down. I mean, they can run up and down with you, or they'll slow it down. But lately, they've been slowing it down, man. I can look towards the under in this spot, man. Let's get to the next game. This is definitely how I feel. I don't have a lot on it, but we definitely just gonna talk a little bit about it. Obviously, my thing is I didn't even write much down about this. So the Warriors versus the Timberwolves here. here. There's nothing that I want to do with this game, man. Sometimes you can find value, especially I think later on. I mean, I think some injuries may come out. Some teams will maybe tip their hand. One of these teams are going to try to lose this motherfucker on purpose. It's that simple. And you just got to find out which team that is and go with you know what I'm saying, go with the one that care the most. It's tough sometimes, but if you can find that one, the one that doesn't care as much, that's how you find your edge. I mean, you got no Looney, no Cauley Stein, and no D'Angelo Russell for the Warriors. They did just take the Spurs to overtime with this same sorry ass team. But I know I was surprised to see the Warriors even stay there. I know it's the Spurs, but they were staying competitive again. Like I say, took them to overtime. Denver had a chance to win that game. The Timberwolves, same thing yesterday versus the Bucks, kept that game super close. So I mean, it's a back-to-back spot. It's a rest advantage for the Warriors, but the Timberwolves actually, I mean, obviously they're the home team here. They didn't cover 3 of the past 4. The Warriors didn't cover 5 of the past 6. There's nothing I want to do with this game, man. One of these teams probably going to tank it away, and it'll be interesting to see if all those Timberwolves sit out once again. Maybe the Warriors could get them. If all those Timberwolves sit out once again, because I think they have been losing on purpose, low-key, bro. I'm surprised they won that fucking next game, too, with all them players they had sitting out. I mean, fuck, man. I don't know what the hell was going on with that one. But what you got in this game, Jordan? What you think? Which one of these teams tanking in this spot?
Man, you said one of them might try to lose. I think both of them are trying to lose. We already seen that with all the people that the Warriors are ruling out right now, whether or not they're really injured or not. I mean, like, this is a game where I wouldn't touch the spread with a 10-foot pole. I don't care if you give me a free play or not. It just would be a complete waste. I mean, there probably is an edge and a side to this game. I mean, there always is, but I'm not going to go digging for it. There's 8 other games on the slate tonight. What in the hell? No way. No, pass it on. Junior, what do you got to say?
Motherfucker. Porzingis listed out today.
What's up? What news you just got, J Money? Give the people an update.
Huh?
Yeah, give the people the news.
I hear you. When I hear you mumbling to yourself, I know you just got an update. So what's up?
Yeah, Porzingis ruled out, man. I think that's horse shit, man. I want the Mavs to fucking smoke the Nets tonight. I'm telling you, I hate the Nets right now, man. I know they took my money the other day, but I hate them right now the way they've been playing, bro. The Mavs, I don't know why they favor.
That's rough though. Porzingis and Tim Hardaway Jr. out. That's rough.
Yeah. I already know. I know Tim Hardaway Jr. is out, but I needed he was a late scratch. That's the last game Porzingis. I thought he was gonna play this game. I mean, you come out of a bad loss to OKC, you gotta come in here and smack the Nets, man. That's some bullshit, man. I'm probably gonna take the under in that game, man. I fucking hate the Nets. The Nets are fucking terrible right now. I don't give a damn. I don't care. 8 points. Even right now, the Nets terrible right now, bro. And sorry, Junior, I'm going to let you say so. I know you probably didn't want to say nothing about the Warriors and Timberwolves. And the Nets sorry as fuck right now, bro. I don't care what nobody say. It's Dinwiddie and everybody else, and even him. I saw Dinwiddie get locked up, bro, versus the Timberwolves. He hit a fucking three-pointer shot. He hit it on accident. That's how off the team were. They were getting their ass like on Timberwolves on a 9-0 run versus them. He shoot a three-pointer. It's so off that it goes off the backboard and goes in. It was like a momentum killer against the Timberwolves, man. It was a lucky shot, bro. Man, they offense look absolutely terrible right now. I seen Timberwolves get 3 straight offensive rebounds against these boys, 2 straight possessions, man. Y'all, that's terrible, bro. I hope the Mavs still going to smack the shit out of them by 30, even without Porzingis, man. But I do think 222 was too high. The total and the side probably finna move. Probably, you know what I'm saying, the net, because I think the odds makers thought that Porzingis was in as well. I'll give you guys an update. What you got on this one, Junior? And real quick, did you have anything on the Warriors and Timberwolves bullshit ass game?
Well, you already know I'm going to say no. I would just say that the Timberwolves have to be the most difficult team in the NBA to cap right now. So I can't get involved in any game that has to do with Minnesota for the near future until they get their roster and their team sorted out, because it's just a guessing game at this point. As for the Brooklyn-Dallas game, Porzingis being out changes everything. I'm sure this line is going to move as a result of that. I just think 8 is a lot of points. Dallas will probably come out here and smack him, because Brooklyn, the Dinwiddie, and I told you, listen, Jay, you know, because we talk about, I talk about Brooklyn quite a bit, other than Toronto and Miami. I don't bet on Brooklyn right now, because people were saying in the beginning when they were winning, when they were doing well, it's because Kyrie's not there, instead of looking at the fact that, you know, their coach had called them out at that point and said, we're not playing to the identity we had last year. And the identity they had last year was that they were a scrappy team that always worked hard every game. That's not what they were doing. But I also said on this show, how could anyone look at Spencer Dinwiddie and say to themselves, this guy's less of a hog than Kyrie? Bro, Spencer Dinwiddie is not passing the ball unless he's just out of options and he has to pass the ball. He's out there hogging and less efficiently than Kyrie because he ain't Kyrie, right? So I just think that whole Kyrie narrative is super overblown, and people are seeing that for themselves, that no matter who you are, it's not easy to carry an NBA team, you know what I mean, on your back. And if you're asking Spencer Dinwiddie to be the best player on an NBA team, I got news for you, son. That team's probably not going to be very good. And that's exactly what you're seeing right now. So with all that being said, I kind of just want to stay away from this game because Porzingis now plus Tim Hardaway Jr., I know the Mavericks have shown that they can win without injury, without key players, because they were winning without Doncic. But I just kind of want to see what's up. You know, I don't want to put money on this game at all. I don't have a feel for it.
Exactly. I can understand it, man. We don't spend too much time on it, and then, I'm going to tell you why Dinwiddie has to do that. They don't have nobody else, bro. When he was out the game, they was getting their ass torched. He had to play them every minute of that game, bro. That was
fucking, no, they're not. The roster's not good.
Absolute terrible loss. Don't get me wrong. I still think it was a good spot for the Nets versus the depleted Wolves team. But watching that game, I mean, as a spot play, it's something I would do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I still think it was deep play in the game, but the Nets did not fucking come to play in that game. Their offense is absolute terrible right now. And when you get in the offense, when the Wolves didn't even have really a lot of bigs out there, and the way they getting slammed on the boards like that, I'm like, the Nets just look absolutely terrible right now. I was wondering, okay, 2 straight losses, and they've been good off of a loss this year so far. I'm like, okay, 2 straight losses. I mean, they almost played good in the Rockets game. I'm like, oh, boom, they're gonna come to play in this one, and then 3 straight now. I mean, they're 7-10 on the roll, 1-4 ATS last 5. Like I say, no offense. They're just on a huge decline right now. They trending down 0-3 ATS and straight up last 3. They lost versus the Knicks. I mean, you got smacked by the Knicks at the house. That's the one where I'm like, okay, damn, what's going on? You lost by the Knicks. Okay, maybe just Knicks just got up. It was an in-state route game. Then you lost to the Rocks. That Timberwolves, I'm sorry, they fucking did it for me, bro. 0-4 ATS last 4 on the road versus a winning home team. 1-5 ATS last 6 games on 2 days rest. 0-6 last 6 Thursday games. Little tricky stat there, but hey, last 6 times they fucking played on Thursday, they didn't lost. So shit, I mean, hey, it's just the trends. The Mavs, like I say, I hate that Porzingis. The first thing I had was need Porzingis back. Needed him. I thought that's why the line was at 8 on the cool. But I mean, fuck, they shut down Dinwiddie. It's gonna be a long night for the Nets. I'm telling you that right now. I don't care who out there playing. They still got Luka out there playing. You still got other players. Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, who's you know what I'm saying, stepped up a lot this year. Now Max Kleber, Dwight Powell. I mean, not a huge fan. I needed Porzingis, man. I was gonna slam them, man. I needed Porzingis in there, but I still hope because if they shut down Dinwiddie, Nets offense is terrible, man. I think 222 is too high. Sometimes the Mavs don't play a whole lot of defense, but I think with that lineup out there, that's a defensive lineup in my opinion. Kleber, Finley Smith, Brunson out there, Luka, obviously a lot of offense. Not really too. He can play some defense. The Mavs are 0-4 ATS last 4 home games, so that's definitely something I had to write down there. It's a bounce back though off of 2 straight tough losses for the Mavs. They got the much better offense. Garrett Temple questionable in this spot. The Mavs average 116 points per game at the house. The Nets only average 110.6 on the road, and the Mavs only give up 108.8 on the at the house. Nets only scoring they give up 111 on the road. So I hope the Mavs still smack the shit out the Nets by 50 tonight, man. What you got in this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I would agree. I think this line's going to come down just a little bit. Crazy with the Porzingis and the Tim Hardaway news. 8. I mean, I know I like to look at. I love to look at trends, but at the same time, the game is different, and the situation just changed recently. Now that we've been on the show, so I do think 8 points is too many now for a certain situation. Brooklyn has looked like ass lately. They've lost to 2 teams who they shouldn't have lost to. But then the New York spot's the day after Christmas. That's a little bit tough, obviously. The most recent loss, obviously, is a little head scratching. They still have stuff to play for. I mean, this team is still in playoff contention. I think they're 7th right now in the Eastern Conference, even though they've lost the last 3. So, I mean, it's not like it's like panic time, I think, in Brooklyn, but I also think that they should cover this game without Porzingis and Tim Hardaway. That's a lot of offense you're taking away. And Brooklyn, if Garrett Temple does, they do have the ability to at least sloop it down or at least give him them double team and whatever they have to do and make other people on the Mavs beat you. They just don't have a whole lot of offense without Tim. That's 30-plus points a game you're taking away now. So I think the 8 is a little much. Don't know yet if I'm going to jump on it or not. I'm going to wait and see if this line dips down anymore. I see it down from 8.5 to 8. Now it's 7.5 at a few shops. So we'll take a look. You guys are right, though. It's absolutely really hard to trust Brooklyn right now. That's probably the underlying fact of this entire conversation this game.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I say, Temple questionable. He's questionable. I mean, you played last game, now you're questionable. Hey, it's not guaranteed that he's gonna play, man. It's gonna hurt him. I mean, I know Porzingis gonna hurt the Mavs. They got a bench though, too. When you got DeLon Wright coming off the bench and Seth Curry, who could be a starter for those Blazers over there right now, like he was. When you got DeLon Wright and Seth Curry come off the bench, I mean, that's not too fucking bad. DeAndre Jordan, the Mavs will hate DeAndre Jordan forever. Oh, I'm not going to go into that, but it is a lot of points at the house. They are 0-4 ATS last 4. Like I say, I'm not going to take the Mavs, especially without Porzingis. I hate the Nets right now. I absolutely hate them. Until they cash a ticket for it again, give my fucking money back, I will hate them. 3 more games we're gonna go through real quick. I don't have nothing really on any of them, man. The Kings, I was thinking about the Kings. It's a nice little revenge spot, but I probably won't get there, man. They gotta show me something first, man. They've been playing terrible, man. Bagley out. OKC versus Spurs, man. We got Spurs here -2. Versus OKC. OKC been playing really good defense. Really good deal. I'm not a fan of the Spurs. I mean, was it a look ahead last game versus the Warriors? They've been playing better as of late, but I'm not touching it right now. And the Clippers versus the Pistons. Obviously, Pistons are totally overmatched here. But the Clippers, one thing you got to watch out with them. Some games they just coast. They know it's just a regular season. They only care about the playoffs. So I mean, obviously they should blow the Pistons out here. I'm scared. I'm not taking the 12.5. It's just that simple because some of these games, I can see the Clippers just coasting through, getting a win, not caring about cover. It's gonna start happening. I'm telling you guys. May not happen here, but they show me that they're that type of team. They'll let a team hang around. They don't really care. They'll take the starters out up 20 in the fourth quarter. Would you have anything on these last 3 games, Junior? And you can recap your plays for the day.
Yeah, I got the Clippers in the first half because of a couple of different reasons. Without Kennard and Blake, I don't know if he's playing in this game, but even if he is, he looks, I mean, absolutely terrible right now. I just think that they don't have enough offense to get it done against this Clippers team. I do agree with something you said, though. As soon as I saw that 12.5, I said there's no chance that I'm laying that many points on a full game spread with the Clippers because they just kind of don't care. I shouldn't say kind of. They don't give a shit about spreads. If they see that they got to win, they're pulling guys. They're sitting guys. They have a pretty deep rotation, even though Doc only really likes to play 8 dudes. So if they get up, Doc will empty his bench real quick. And I don't like that at all. I think in the first half, though, they come out and take care of business because before this is something that we talked about on the show when I had the Clippers in the first half. The other day, the Clippers have a stretch right now where before that Sacramento win, they were 4-4 in their last 8, which is not good if they're trying to keep pace with the Lakers. Now, this is their next 5 home games: the Pistons, the Grizzlies, the Knicks, the Warriors, the Cavs. If you're gonna make a run, this is where the run starts, right? Am I wrong? Like if the Clippers are gonna make their move, it better be in this stretch against basically all of the bums in the league at home. Because after that, they go on a stretch where they play 6 games in a row on the road. So they've definitely got to make their move here. I think they win all of these games, and I also think the spread in their next 5 home games are going to be ridiculous. It's already 12.5 against the Pistons. If they smack them up, it's going to get much worse against the Grizzlies, Knicks, and Cavaliers. So trying to get in on the Clippers while I can get a nice price on them.
I like it. And what's your plays for today? Recap your plays today, Junior.
Kept it real light today. I just went Heat first half -3, Clippers first half -7.5. 2020, not trying to force any plays. I forced plays to end the year last year. Had a bad week last week. We stayed off forced plays, so I only got 2 today.
What you got for me, Jordan? Anything on his last 3 games? Spurs, OKC, Kings, Grizzlies, Detroit Clippers, and recap your plays for the day, my guy.
Yep, I'll go real quick because these are the only two plays I have, although I think I'm going to jump on Miami -3 first half, too. I like that play from Junior. But, yeah, OKC and San Antonio got the under in the first half, 12. Like you said, the Thunder have been absolutely great. It's their third in road first half defense, whereas they are like 26th or 27th in road first half offense, and the Spurs actually do tend to play a little bit better defensive at home as well. So I think the pace, if OKC slows down San Antonio enough, which I think they've proven they can do, I think that game goes under in the first half. I think 112 is just a little bit too much for that one. And I'm on the Grizz tonight plus 4.5, and I like them actually more in the first half plus 2.5. This Kings team just doesn't look like they want to win right now, and Memphis still has an outside shot at making a run at the playoffs here. If they string on some here, they're starting an important road trip here tonight. If Jay Crowder plays, I think I'm going to get on the full game. Right, I'm only on the first half plus 2.5, but if he does play, I think I'm going to jump on plus 4.5 here. So those three under 112.5. OKC San Antonio, Grizz first half, Heat first half, and maybe Grizz full game.
I can dig it, man. Waiting on the Gary Harris injury, man. I might be on the Nuggets there. That's the only way I could look in that game. Nuggets and under in that spot. And I absolutely love the Heat today, minus the 5.5. I like that first half as well with my guy Junior. I like first quarter, first half, and full game. I'm not on there. I just like I'm just taking my money's just going to be on the Heat minus the 5.5. Leaning towards the Jazz and the under. And that one probably not making a bet. And I might get there with the Nets and Mavs under. I'm going to look deeper in there when I thought Porzingis going to be in. College picks, real quick, man. I'm gonna go down them real quick. James Madison -2, Lipscomb -5, Coastal Carolina -2. These lines I got last night. San Diego -1, Texas State money line, South Alabama -2, Southern Utah -4, Morehead State -2. Got a star by Elwin. Charlotte, I'm looking at Charlotte, man, and Minnesota plus the 8. You can get that 8 versus Purdue. I hope they come to play today, man. I was looking at Pepperdine as well. Y'all know what we're going to do. Leche, Alos bookmakers. We got to get out of here.